probably do the same thing all over again.
What would you do?
Try to murder everyone on the planet Earth.
Society may be good as a whole, but the fascination for evil has always been a topic of discussion. In this video, I will be discussing 5 of the most infamous serial killers in America. Please note, this video is no way intended to glorify these heinous criminals, but only intended for those curious about true crime. 1. Samuel Little. Samuel Little, who was active between 1970 and 2005, is considered one of the most prolific serial killers in U.S. history. He has been confirmed to have murdered 60 people, though he claimed to have killed 93. His method of killing was strangulation, and his victims were often vulnerable women, such as sex workers and drug addicts. Little targeted individuals in 19 different states and avoided detection by frequently moving from place to place. After his arrest in 2012 for unrelated charges, DNA evidence linked him to numerous murders. He helped law enforcement identify additional victims by sketching their portraits from memory. 2. Gary Ridgway, Green River Killer.
Pacific Northwest for decades, but tonight there's a sense of closure for some. In the 80s and 90s, dozens of women and girls were found murdered in our area by serial killer Gary Ridgway, better known as the Green River Killer.
Gary Ridgway, known as the Green River Killer, was active during the 1980s and 1990s. He has been confirmed to have killed 49 women, although he claimed responsibility for 71 murders. Ridgway primarily targeted young women, many of whom were sex workers in the Seattle area. He often strangled his victims and disposed of their bodies in wooded areas near the Green River. Ridgway was arrested in 2001 after DNA evidence linked him to several murders. Following his capture, he cooperated with investigators, assisting them in locating remains. 3. Ted Bundy.
The power room. And the first charge of electricity, which is 1,800 volts. This causes the body to lift up several inches from the chair in which he is strapped in.
Ted Bundy, one of the most infamous serial killers in history, was active between 1974 and 1978. He confessed to killing 30 women, but experts believe the true number of his victims may be higher. Bundy used his intelligence and charm to lure women, often pretending to be injured and asking for help before attacking them. His preferred methods of killing were bludgeoning and strangulation. Bundy became notorious for his dramatic prison escapes and the media frenzy surrounding his trials. He was eventually captured in 1978 and executed in 1989. 4. John Wayne Gacy.
When I got into clown makeup, I regressed into childhood. It was fun being a clown because you could be yourself or just let yourself go and act a fool. You know how people, if you're a businessman, you've got to keep a certain rapport and stuff like that, and everybody looks for you for an image. But as a clown with the makeup on, you could be slapstick and funny and have a good time. That's why I always enjoyed clowning.
Also known as the Killer Clown, was active from 1972 to 1978. He was convicted of murdering 33 young men and boys, most of whom he lured to his home in Illinois under the pretense of offering jobs. Gacy often strangled or suffocated his victims before burying their bodies in the crawl space of his house. His public persona as a community volunteer and clown performer added a chilling element to his crimes. Gacy was arrested in 1978 after the disappearance of a teenage boy led police to his home. He was executed in 1994.
Destination 32 clear.
This world-exclusive interview took place inside the maximum security prison in Wisconsin, where he was serving 999 years. He was escorted by 3 prison guards. One officer held each arm as he was taken in handcuffs into an elevator. Nobody was taking any chances with the most notorious killer in America.
Dahmer's crimes involved drugging, strangling, and dismembering his victims, and he engaged in acts of necrophilia and cannibalism. He also preserved body parts as trophies. Dahmer was captured in 1991 when one of his intended victims escaped and alerted the police. He was sentenced to life in prison, but was killed by another inmate in 1994.